folks, this is Rob with 2A Tac Drone Services. So this video is about calming signals. Why am I making this video? So I own a business that works to reunite people with lost pets and livestock, but this video specifically is a instructional video to help lost dog owners reunite with their dogs. And even though I own a thermal drone company, this video is highly relevant whether you use drones or not. And I hope other people will use this as a training video, whether or not you use drones. So a few things I want to start out by saying. I did not invent calming signals by any means. In fact, I only got into this space, meaning the pet rescue space, a little under 2 years ago. In fact, probably closer to a year and a half ago. So I'm new to this area. And when I first started and I heard the term calming signals, I had no idea what it meant. In fact, I thought it sounded kind of odd. And when I first started seeing what the application was, how you use these calming signals to help get your pet, I was not a believer. I thought this can't be right. This can't be a way to help get your pet. And I also thought, not my pet, not my dog. I have a lab named Echo, and I thought if he ever got lost, this is not something I would do. And I can tell you that in the extremely busy, year and a half plus, and I'd have to check my stats, but I know I've gone out more than 100 times on rescues, many of them successful. I've worked with many great animal rescue groups, and I've learned from the pros. So this is where I get this information. I didn't invent it. I learned it from people who are much smarter than me. I have completely changed my mind. Dogs do strange things when they get lost. And if you want to get your dog back, you need to learn these techniques, because sometimes it's a lot easier to find your lost dog than it is to actually get your dog. In fact, many times that is the case. There are many times I have found a dog with the thermal drone, but actually getting the dog to come to the owner is a whole nother story. So I really hope that you will take some time to watch this, to hear what I have to say, and understand that this comes from decades and decades of experience. I want to point out, I want to give respect to the people who have, I think, contributed most or even really invented calming signals. And I have some notes, so if I look to the side, I want to make sure I don't mispronounce. There is a woman from she's Norwegian, named Turid Rugaas, and I hope I pronounced that right. I'm going to link some of her videos in the description of this video. From everything I've read and understand, she is the first person to come up with this concept and document it and go around the world speaking about it. Her videos are a little bit old school, but I gotta tell you, there's a certain charm about them. They're fascinating. And being someone who's had dogs my whole life, and I've seen these things that dogs have done, and I never really understood what they were doing, it's absolutely fascinating. There is another woman named Kat Albrecht, who is a retired police detective, and now has taken, I think, a lot of what Turid has done, and has even maybe built upon some of that, and has a number of educational videos as well. And I'm also going to link her page and her information, and I'm pretty sure both of these ladies, I'm pretty confident, have written books as well, and there's just a lot of material, and I recommend you support them in what they do. So I didn't invent any of this. I'm not taking credit for any of this. What am I guess you could say, sort of taking credit for? I believe I found some ways to integrate drones into using calming signals in ways that, I'm not saying nobody is doing this, but I don't think this is being done much. This video is mostly instructional. I'm going to be doing another video that is going to be more speaking to the pilots, the drone pilots, and the actual people in the rescues, but this is more aimed at the dog owner. So buckle up, get ready to learn some cool stuff, and I really hope you enjoy this. Thank you. All right, so your dog has gone missing, and your dog's been in the woods for a few hours, maybe one night, maybe a few nights, maybe a week. What is going on in your dog's head? Well, the first thing I can tell you is your dog is not your dog in the way that you think of your dog, okay? In its mind, it is confused, it is scared, its entire world has been turned upside down. So the normal things of the regular meals, the love it gets, the warmth, the nice, comfortable place to sleep, it doesn't have these things, and all of a sudden it has to fight and fend on its own for these things that it's had, all its life, or most of its life. It might be a rescue dog. So what they start to do is go into a feral mode, also known as a fight or flight mode. And what this is, and there's actually things about this that are good, is they are going into a mode which is helping them live, helping them survive. But as a result of this, they begin to basically fear all people. And that includes you. Even if you've had this dog for a few years, 5 years, 10 years, and you have the strongest bond ever with your dog, at least initially, may not recognize you, is probably not going to recognize you, because your dog has to figure out that you are not a threat, that you are not just another thing that is going wrong in your dog's day or week, okay? And if you do certain things wrong at this point that you see or are about to contact your dog, you can almost guarantee that your dog is going to bolt, meaning your dog is just going to run away. And that is going to greatly reduce the chance that we are going to be able to get your dog. And I can tell you from experience, once we get someone to get close to their dog and their dog runs, even if then we do things correctly, the odds that we are going to be able to get that dog to come to them at least during the same day is almost zero. It's almost like the dog has to have a reset, like a cool down period. So the dog virtually has to sleep on it. And we can try to get another day, but it's very difficult once a dog gets spooked to try it again. It's nearly impossible. So whether you've hired a drone pilot or you're working with a rescue group, or however you're just out there on your own and you're about to contact your dog, there are certain things, if you do correctly, you will greatly increase the odds of this becoming successful. If you do things wrong, the odds of you getting your dog are very minimal. So what are calming signals? Basically, we are doing virtually the opposite of what we normally do with our dog. Normally, we are the alpha. The dog is below us. I don't mean we domineer over our dog, but, there is a pecking order in our home, okay? And we are above the dog. That being said, normally, we treat the dog a certain way. We call them, we use a certain degree of authority, and the dog responds. The typical things of yelling the dog's name, clapping your hands, standing up, maybe walking or running towards your dog are absolutely not going to work in this situation. In fact, I call it the bad trifecta. This is just me. But running after your dog, yelling your dog's name, or clapping your hands are about, in my opinion, about the three worst things you can do. All right? What are the best things you can do? Well, even when you get even close to your dog, sit down. Take a seat. Some people even lay down, but at a minimum, sit on the ground. If you're out there with a few people, say you're a couple and it's you and your husband or you and your wife, have the other person stay 20 or 30 or 40 feet behind you, okay? But that person is there for support and to help you get a leash on. No one else needs to be talking except for one person, and that's you. You're going to be talking in a calm voice, a medium or a low tone, okay? Similar to how I'm talking now. You are not going to raise your voice at all. You will not be excited. You will just take some breaths and just be as calm and patient as possible. I've seen this take 45 minutes to an hour. It could take longer. It's almost certainly not going to be quick. Okay? You need to have what we call stinky food. There are a lot of things that will work. My personal two favorites are freshly cooked bacon or a rotisserie chicken. There are plenty of other things. People use McDonald's cheeseburgers, believe it or not. They work great. Some people use tuna fish. Some people use sardines. This is not meant to be a healthy meal for your dog. This needs to be something that's very aromatic, that the dog will smell for a good distance, and something where you can take small bits and throw out to your dog that they can get a bite of, and they're going to come in. Because if your dog's been out for a few days, one of the things we're playing on is their hunger. And boy, once they get a bite or a whiff, that is a very strong emotion and drive for your dog. So this is huge. Okay. So bringing dry dog food is not going to work. Now, there's some things we do with dry dog food sometimes, where we'll take a bowl, and if your dog eats dry dog food, we'll gently drop a little bit of dry dog food in the bowl because it triggers that sound. Not aggressively, not like drop, 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 but it is something you can do, but you still need to have that stinky food with you. Okay? That is critical. And if you don't want to cook something, I'm telling you, rotisserie chicken, you just buy the smallest one they have. You tear it up, you bring like a gallon Ziploc bag, you throw all the meat in there. It absolutely works fantastic. All right, so I'm going to begin to show you folks a few videos. But before that, I want to show you that if you come out to work with me, if we find your dog with the drone, I'm going to give you a vest. All right, folks. So this is the chest harness that I actually keep 4 of these in my truck. We find your dog. I keep these all preloaded and packed up, and you will be wearing one of these if you are going out to contact and rescue your dog. So just quickly, what is on this? So on the left, that is a Motorola radio. So in addition to my drone pilot license, I also have an FCC radio license. So I'm a radio operator, my business, and that is a full power radio, much like a police radio. These are not the family radios. It enables us to transmit and receive pretty far, sometimes many miles, very clear. So this is how I will communicate to you from my truck as I am watching your dog, giving you updates as to what your dog's doing, the location, and so on. To the right, you see the red, that is a leash, that is a slip leash. So no matter what, if your dog has a collar, if your dog's dragging a leash, it really doesn't matter. You're going to use a slip leash. This is the best way to secure your dog and bring your dog in. So there is a slip leash on there. Inside the pocket on the front is where you're going to put your bait. So your bag with your rotisserie chicken, your bacon. I do keep some bait in my truck. It may not be as effective, but I always keep sardines. Just happens to be they don't really go bad for at least a very long time. But I still recommend people bring their own. You can see just above the slip leash, the red, you'll see a little orange cord. That is a whistle, and just above that you'll see a yellow item. That is a strobe and an emergency flashlight. So why do I have those? Well, we're often sending people deep in the woods, very often at night, and very often people who aren't maybe that experienced with going into the woods at night. As somebody with a lot of 27 years in the Army and also law enforcement, I take that very seriously. Those are not there to help you find your dog. That's not a dog whistle. That is for you. So if you get lost, you have a whistle, you have a strobe, and you have a light source. So I've taken some serious time in thinking out these vests. And like I said, I keep 4 of them preloaded, ready to go. And that's what we'll give you. And we'll send you in. All right, folks. So here's a rescue where we had just located the dog. You hear me in the background. I've already sent the dog's owner in, and we're trying to position her near the dog.
So, Kate, I'm still watching him. He is moving. He is directly behind that house. I'm also trying to see if he's still dragging the leash. I'm trying to get a close in on him.
So he had shown great interest in one particular area he keeps coming back to, which is a really good sign. What we don't want to do is spook him.
All right, he's now heading towards the house via the woods. That's the next house to the south. Okay, so almost directly across from where I am.
And this is where having these radios is also a game changer, as well as the drone, because I don't need...
You copying, right?
Copy.
All right, just checking.
Because the goal is to have the dog come to you and not you to go to the dog.
There he is. Okay. Kate, I just found him. He's walking in towards you very slowly. I think we can do this. So I need you to make sure you're seated down, and we're going to start the calming signals, okay?
Copy. Which direction is he coming from?
He's coming to the house, towards the house that has the pool. But this is a normal behavior where he's kind of coming in, out. I think he's smelling for sure some of the chicken. He may even be eating a bite or two. He's coming from the side that does not have the pool on it, whatever that means to you. So the side opposite the pool. And just remember, this can take some time. So he's about 50 feet from the front driveway where the cars are parked.
Should I move up towards the driveway?
So where are you right now? You're at the pool side?
About 150 feet behind the house.
If you want to very slowly move towards the pool, but get ready for me to tell you to sit down, okay? And make sure your radio is just loud enough for you to hear me. And just remember, once he gets close to you, you don't have to respond to anything I say. I know that you hear me.
Okay, let's just bring everybody up to speed. I just paused the video. So here's what's happening. Jack's the name of the dog. He's been circling this area for quite a while. I've been monitoring him with the drone. The owner, Kate, has been slowly creeping in on him, kind of moving towards him. She's not been calling him. She's just kind of getting in the area. basically here in just a second, I'm going to have her sit down. She's already got the food out. She's been dropping a few small pieces. What she isn't doing, she's not yelling his name. She's not running. She's not clapping. None of the things that people typically do in this situation. I understand they mean well, but these actually hurt the situation. The fact that I already see him circling the area, this is a very good sign. I'm seeing some great signs here. And the fact that I can observe his behavior when ordinarily no one on the ground would see what the dog is doing is a big plus. This is a big plus. But again, you're watching this to learn how to get your dog. You're going to be in that situation. You're going to be listening to me. And also, remember what I told her, keep the radio low. When the dog gets close to her, I don't expect you to acknowledge every time I call you. You don't have to say 10-4, good buddy. Certainly when, you're far away, it's nice to know that you hear me. But when the dog gets close, you should have that radio nice and low. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to encourage you. That's part of my job. But you don't have to say a word back. Your job is to get your dog. So here's a interesting behavior I've now noticed on a number of these rescues. That's a very positive sign.
Okay. I have eyes on him. Do you see him?
No, I don't.
Alright. He is probably 200 feet behind the house, and if you were behind the house, he's looking directly at you, or in your direction, and this is a very good sign.
Can I move?
I would not move at all. I'm asking you if you can just, let's do the thing. So this is where he's going to come in. He's going to test the waters. This takes time. He's going to smell the chicken. This is exactly what we want to see. He's coming towards you right now. So call his name quietly. Keep a bunch of chicken thrown out around you. And just, this is really, this is patience. But I know you got this, Kate. You're a rock star.
All right, so I pause this again. So when I see the dog looking attentively in the name of the person who's going to be grabbing the dog, picking the dog up, this is a great sign. This shows the dog's interested. The dog's fixed on this person. The dog is showing, great interest. It doesn't matter if it's food. It doesn't matter what the motivation the dog's feeling. This is extremely good. The dog's going to come in and out. That's totally normal, and you have to expect that, and you have to not get up and run or do anything. This is normal. They're testing the waters. I affectionately call this the standoff, but it takes time, and when I start seeing this, I generally know we're going to get the dog today.
I realize he's focused on you. He's wagging his tail. He's 100% focused on you. I understand what you're saying, but I would not say so. So this is what I call the standoff. This is very normal. The only thing I could tell you is if you want to try to, and I have tried this before, if you want to try to literally crawl towards him, are you able to see him right now?
Yes, I've got a visual.
So if you want to try to just crawl very slowly, I think we're going to get him today. I'm certain of it. And if he starts to come towards you, stop crawling, sit down, kind of look sideways, and why don't we try that?
So guys, this is when it's getting really close. You'll hear me mention to look away from the dog. Obviously, you can side-eye them and keep an eye on them, but this is just another way of being more passive, not looking them straight in the eyes. It's a less of a threat and more of a way to help your dog recognize you and snap out of the fight or flight mode.
Yeah, he just moved closer to you.
So here we are in the final minutes of this, he's wagging his tail. He's looking directly at Kate. I know we got this. At this point, really, my job is just to keep reinforcing the calming signals to her, coaching her, and encouraging her.
Oh, so close. Oh my gosh.
I mean, look at that tail. That dog is so happy.
So, toss some little pieces of chicken out for him. This is amazing. You got this, Kate.
And remember, never grab the dog if he gets close to you. His reaction is going to be quicker, and that could spook him, and we could lose the whole thing. You gotta wait till he's in your arms. That's a really big point.
So you see him at the bottom of the screen? There he is right there. And she's right up top here. And she's doing an amazing job.
Here he comes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, he came so close.
Notice she's still not reaching out.
Oh.
Now, finally, she grabs him.
Yes. Kate, you are awesome. Take your time getting that leash on. Congratulations.
Slip leash is on.
Congratulations. Hey, we'll do hugs.
Look at how happy this dog
Let me
is.
just finish this part. Kate, people here are crying. They're in tears of joy. God bless you. This is wonderful.
Now, I just want to make a quick point here. She's struggling a little bit to get the leash on. It's not her fault. She's doing nothing wrong here. We didn't have a second person available right at this second to be her backup, as I call it. This is where having that second person, 30, 40 feet behind her, kind of hiding, being extremely quiet, where she could basically just muckle onto this dog, grab this dog. I don't mean do anything that would hurt the dog, but just pretty much grab the dog any way she can and wait for the second person to come in to get the leash on, because this is a dangerous point where this dog could still get loose, and who knows? The dog, it could set us back an hour or a full day. It's hard to say. But this is where I really like to have that second person with a radio back in the woods to assist. Okay, so this is an interesting case that I recently had. This is a rescue dog that was placed in a permanent home. And this is unfortunately a fairly common scenario, but they got to their home, basically opened the door of the car, and this dog ran. And not only did it run, but it had a leash attached, which is never a good thing. It had been out one night in the cold, and I got called out there. The dog had just been seen. We didn't have anyone that was familiar with the dog for more than about an hour, but that's the best we had, so that's the person I was working with. We found the dog very quickly. This is Penny, and Penny thankfully was circling an area and kept returning to a fairly small area. You can see she's dragging that leash. So we formulated a plan. We had a rotisserie chicken as bait. We knew she was hungry because she had been outside she'd been out for about 24 hours. But we knew this would be a tough one because, again, rescue dog, no bond at all with the owner. And really the only thing we're going to have here is just calming signals and using hunger. Okay, so this is the field that Penny kept coming back to, this kind of weird shaped field with this little finger thing at the bottom. You can see Penny is the little red dot right at the center of the thermal camera, which is on the left side. And what we had Nancy is at the top there. So basically we wanted to position Nancy in a way that Penny would come to her. Again, you always want the dog to come to you, not the other way around. So we knew if we got Nancy in that field, eventually Penny would intersect with her because she just kept coming back to that field. So there is Penny, and I've got this section muted, but what you don't hear is I am constantly updating Nancy on the dog's position. She did not see Penny. She had no idea where she was, but I'm letting her know. And number one, this is good for her because it's giving her feedback, and that's just helpful for her to know. But as I'm essentially managing the situation, which is what I'm doing, it's my job, I've got this above view, so I know what the dog's doing. I have an idea of its behavior. I have an idea of, if I think this is going to work or not. So I'm able to give Nancy feedback and give her instructions on what to do, and that is all based on things I see that we normally wouldn't. So again, this is a great case where the drone is super helpful, and so are the radios. So this is, again, you can see the dog is just keeps looking back, very interested, must be catching the scent of the rotisserie chicken. Okay, so she's got a big gallon bag that she's carrying with her, with the front of the bag is open. So the hunger instinct is just kicking in. So yeah, you'll see how this plays out. This is a great video.
Yeah, she's definitely coming back to you, so I would not move at all. I would stay exactly where you are. This is the point where it's a little bit of a standoff. I'm hoping she's going to continue coming in. And hey, you're doing great. This is a real hard part here, guys. You're doing great. You're very patient. Thank you.
Okay, so here the standoff is continuing, but like in the previous video, you can see Penny is extremely focused on Nancy. She's totally interested in the food. You can tell at this point. I mean, I'm almost with certainty that we're going to rescue her.
Remember what I said, don't reach out and grab her until she's actually in your arms, and then Julie can come up.
That's another point. Never reach out to the dog. The dog will always jump back and then potentially run. Obviously, she's not that close.
You got this. I know you do. You got this.
And again, I'm just encouraging her. And look at how good she's doing. She's just being still, patient. I mean, it's amazing.
Hey, check this out. I don't know why I'm talking quiet. There she is. That's your mom right there. She's coaxing her in. This is amazing. So you see your mom? Your mom's right. She's being super patient. She's got the food. So this is where it's all about being chill. Yeah, you've got to be like, Penny definitely smells the food. Oh, this is magic. Did I tell you I love my job?
No, but...
If you get closer, throw some more pieces out.
So,
oh my gosh.
Because of the standoff.
Oh my gosh. I'm on the edge of my seat.
I had told Nancy she could attempt to very, very slowly close the distance with a little bit of crawling. This is a little bit risky, but just a tiny bit. The amount of time that went by in this entire thing was 45 minutes.
Come on, Penny. Come on, Penny. I'm telling you, the rotisserie chicken. Mwah.
So when I tell people this can take an hour, it can absolutely take an hour. Even with a dog, you know. All right, so here my battery was about to die, but thankfully the drone is really close. But I had to bring it back in a second. So I'm telling her to just throw more scraps of chicken.
I just overrode it because I'm not going to crash. I have a couple minutes left. I don't want to miss this. Oh, once they start taking the food, it's usually, you know.
Yeah, you can see how skittish
right.
Penny is.
Oh. Try gently throwing a couple pieces closer to you. Yeah, perfect.
I mean, look, she just took a bite out of her hand.
Oh, come on. Oh my gosh.
But I want to stress the patience here, folks. If you're, you know.
Your mom is so patient.
Yes, the patience. Not to reach out and try to.
I don't even want to call her on the radio because I don't want anything to startle.
So this is when I brought my drone back. You can see she is now sitting, and she's also looking
right.
away.
Oh yeah, like her chops are. Oh come on.
So looking away is another way to be less threatening, and just look how she's just sitting. She's just relaxed. She's not gesturing or motioning.
As soon as she gets on her too, which is great. I'm gonna use this as a training video when I'm done. Seriously.
Mark
I'm
those
sure your
words.
mom's going to get her. She's doing everything correct.
In hindsight, she could have laid down, and that probably would have been a good move at this point.
5 kids.
So obviously at this point, I'm thinking to myself, if there's an opportunity that she can grab that leash, this would be great. We just have to make sure it's a good opportunity.
All right, here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is wild. Okay, look, she's eating it. Even the way your mom is like not facing her is I didn't even tell that to her, but that's a real technique.
Like if it's fully faced at someone.
Well, it can be considered more threatening to a dog. Man, this poor Penny is just spooked. Nancy, you're doing great. So I was thinking, if you can throw a piece of food ever so slightly in front of you, she may drag that leash to your side, which would be amazing because you could then grab that leash. Not that your mom didn't already think of that.
You can see how coaching is critical here, and people can easily mess this up. Not hard. I've had it happen. And obviously this dog is more skittish than many, but it is so easy. Would be so easy to scare this dog off.
Come on. Oh, that's so close. If she just goes forward, she smells the food. Talk about a skittish dog. Oh my gosh. Oh, I what your mom's thinking right now. Oh, no.
So this food really supposed to be fast.
She could have almost grabbed that. I'm not busting on her. It's such a delicate thing right now.
Coming towards us.
Well, dog's coming back. Now she can just get her to cross by her side to behind her. Oh, I see what she's doing. She's finding all the little bits that your mom threw earlier, I think. Is my guess. Oh, get her to go to your right. Oh, that would be... Just pull that leash over. Oh, go by your side, right there. Go between the bush and your mom.
I'm a smart dog, sir.
Smart. I would say just very cautious, you know. Probably based on history and hasn't developed trust with you guys yet. And she will. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I would keep all food close to you at this point. I wouldn't throw any far away. So I would make her come right next to you, and hopefully there'll be a point you can grab that leash. What?
And here's where I forget my
She
left
needs
from
what?
my right.
How? Like she's out? Is she out?
Oh, God.
Ooh, grab the leash. Grab the leash. I think you can grab the leash to your right, to your left, to your left, to your left.
Yep, there we go.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Congratulations. Julie, have Julie come in now. Julie, come in now.
You want to go get lunch?
Go
So
help
the
your mom.
other
Go help
person
your
that
mom.
was
Thank
originally
you.
there to
Sorry,
help,
I'm
I
not
didn't
trying to yell at
realize
you.
had to leave.
I've got your daughter
So we
coming
sent
in
her daughter.
to help put the slip lead on, okay? So just don't do anything until she gets in, and she'll grab the red slip lead and put that on. You'll have 2 leashes. Hey, Nancy, you are a rock star. You are amazing. Great job.
Yeah, this went about as well as it could. We just don't want it to slip, and you can see how close we were to their house. Okay, so this is a poodle that had been missing for 2 days. It's that little white dot in the center. You'll see as we zoom in here. The owner has had this dog for a long time. I don't remember the exact age, but it was a strong bond between owner and dog. The dog was found, I'm going to say it was probably 1,000 feet from the owner's home, so not far, less than a quarter mile. You'll see in a second, that's the owner at the bottom in the jeans and the dark blue navy shirt. So he's got, I think he had bacon, if I remember correctly. I don't have audio on this because we lost it, so you won't hear any audio from my radio, but I'm coaching him, just like the other videos. And right now I am telling him to take a knee, and you're gonna see him kneel down here in a second. And he's gonna, I'm just gonna tell him to kind of crawl in. He's a big guy. This guy I think was like 6'4", but he's crawling in. He's calling the name of his poodle, and he's also tossing out little bits of bacon in front of him. And I'm gonna let this play out in real time. It's not particularly long, certainly not 45 minutes like the previous one. This one goes fairly quick, but again, if he had done this incorrectly, I definitely believe that this poodle would have ran. So you can see he's being very non-aggressive. He's holding some food out. He's probably making, saying, "Do you want a treat?" or saying words that this poodle would associate with getting a snack. You can see she's all muddy. She spent 2 nights in the woods. She's ready to come home, but she's very attentive. She's she's ready for some food. And you notice he's not clapping. He's not doing anything overt. He's being, we call it low and slow. Oh, you see him using his cell phone there. This is, he actually had his wife. I did not tell him to do this. I'm not saying it didn't work, but he had his wife calling the dog through the cell phone. Interesting technique. I'd love to know if other people have tried this, but that's why he's holding the phone out. and she's calling the dog. Apparently she was out of state, she couldn't be there, and she's got a closer relationship with this pup. As I've said in the 2 previous videos, the fact that the dog's attention is completely fixed on him, unless he were to do something very startling, in my experience, this dog is coming home today. Is it possible to mess this up? Of course it is, but as long as I can keep coaching him and he, listens to what I say, and again, I didn't tell him to do the cell phone thing, but that part is what it is. And look at this. This little dog. I don't remember her name. I apologize. I have it somewhere. But she's made a decision. She's had a 2-night adventure. And she's coming home. And again, he doesn't... I've told him specifically, wait till she's in his arms. Don't reach out until you can actually fully get her. And now, of course, he picks her up. And again, this is the result we all want, guys. This is wonderful, and this guy couldn't be happier. His wife was crying on the phone. I remember. Grandma was here. The son was with me at the. In fact, I think the grandma and the son was with me watching this, live. So, and there's a neighbor who had allowed them into the backyard. Of course, I should mention that we always get private property owners permission. We don't just barge into people's backyards. So the neighbor happened to be out doing some yard work and was thrilled to be part of this. And of course the neighbor stood back and stayed back and was quiet, which is great. And you'll just see here in a second a great little shot as he gives the thumbs up to the drone. So another great ending. All right, folks, so you saw the 3 rescues. All 3 were different. We had a foster dog that we had somebody come out who had a great deal of experience with. We had a rescue dog that we had somebody with no time with, and then we had the last one, the Poodle, where the person that was doing the rescuing had a great deal of experience. Typically, if you have someone who, it's their dog and they've got a strong bond, the actual rescue should go much quicker. Although I certainly would say there's no guarantee in that. But the bottom line is, all 3 of these, we were successful. And I say we as in the team. This isn't anybody's single victory here. This is a group of people that come together for a common good. So let's just reiterate a few things. So if you want to kind of sum up the whole thing, and again, this is not about the drone. If you want to really sum this up, low and slow. And I did not make that up. I have heard that, so I'm repeating something that I've heard. Get low and just think slow, meaning patience. Okay? With the first one, or the second one, Nancy, it took almost an hour, and she could not have been more patient. So just think, get low and slow. It's going to take time. Okay? As far as the things you never want to do, don't ever run after the dog. Don't ever yell the dog's name. Don't clap. All these things that we think are going to work. There are times, in my opinion, to send search parties out, and that would be a case of a dog dragging a leash. I personally think a thermal drone's more effective, but that's not for this video, and that's not what this video is about. What I can tell you is, and I believe this is fairly universally agreed amongst people that do this, a dog in fight or flight is never, or virtually never, I mean maybe there's 1%, but almost never going to respond to a group of people going in the woods yelling the dog's name. unfortunately, the only response you're going to get from that dog is it is going to push them from whatever area they're currently in out. Okay? And the advantage of all three of these dogs in these three rescues that I just showed and I participated in is they were all relatively close to the original area that they ran away from. So we don't want to push these dogs. And here's the thing: had these dogs not responded to calming signals, there's a point where we're going to stop, and they're going to need to go to feeding stations and trapping. So I want to always try the calming signals, contact, and potential rescue first, because if you do that, now all of that manpower and time, and frankly the time that the dog is going to be in the woods suffering potentially. I know these dogs do well, they're resilient, but whether it's the winter or whatever, and we do know some of these dogs are never found, you've just removed all of that. You've made all of that unnecessary. So why not give it a shot? Why not make a run at the dog? Okay, not literally, but figuratively. All right, so just remember these things, and if you are doing this even alone, if it's just you, remember these techniques. And yes, if you are a drone pilot, this would be a good educational video for you too. I'm going to be doing another one for drone pilots with some good suggestions, but I hope people got some use out of this. It took me a while to make this video. I hope you guys would consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I hate to say that. Smash that like and subscribe button. But take a second to do it. Allegedly it helps. I don't know. And yeah, let's keep saving these pups. All right. Thanks everybody. Take care.